So I thought we could try something a little bit different today. We've gotten a lot of questions on meal prep, meal planning, how do I keep my budget in line? And I would say that like in the Mendoza household, our guiding light is we do not throw food away, right? If you are buying in excess of your ability to consume, you've made a mistake. Something's gone wrong. I think that's just one thing just generally to keep in mind. If you buy it, you eat it, guiding light. Now beyond that, it's actually coming through and you want to eat meals that are delicious but not too expensive. If you're consistently eating meals or eating recipes that involve 30 or more ingredients, that is going to be an expensive meal. And it's also going to be a lot of time to prepare. You know how like cookbooks look great? You buy them at Sam's Club, you get them home, you open it up, and then there's just like in step after step after step after step. What I look for is simplicity, something that I can eat a lot of, still enjoy it, something that isn't going to break the bank, and yeah, just that ease and simplicity, something that doesn't have 1,000 ingredients in it. Notice how I exaggerated from 30 to 1,000? All right, anyways, I'm gonna share with you my process. So it depends on what I'm doing. If we're talking about making meals for my family, I actually just go onto like Pinterest. Go onto Pinterest and just look for great meals. Let your eyes wander and find something delicious. What I do from there is actually use a meal planning software. In this case, we actually use something, my family uses something called Paprika. I have it for my phone, I have it for my Mac. What I do is I actually go onto Pinterest, I grab the link, and then I copy that into the Paprika browser. So let's just say we were going to make, I'm looking it up now, let's say we're gonna look for sweet potato enchilada. So that sounds delicious, even as I said it. All right, now assuming this first one by cookieandkate.com is the best one, maybe it is, I'll simply grab that URL, I will copy that into Paprika. All right, once I'm in Paprika, I actually go to the browser setting and copy this in there. And what's amazing, it has this download button, go ahead and download it. And what's amazing is it skips all of the, all of the ads, all of the filler content, the story, which is amazing. I love to hear the story, but what I really want is the recipe. Sorry. And once I get the recipe, it actually downloads it into your ingredient category, your directions category, it gives you some additional notes, and that is the sweet spot here. And so then I will just save that. Maybe I'll make a few different changes to it. Like for instance, if it has a ton of fancy ingredients and I know that I'm not gonna use all those, maybe I will just eliminate a couple here and there that I know I'm not gonna want. But regardless, once I'm satisfied with the way it looks inside of this app, I'm just gonna go ahead and save it. Here's the key. Once it's inside the app, I actually take the recipe that I want. I go ahead and find it. You can see I actually have a bunch here. Like I have a ton of recipes here. I very much try to rate these as I go, as I make them. If it's amazing, I give it a 5. If it's pretty good, I give it a 4. And then basically my goal there has been I either love it or I hate it. There is no in the middle, right? It's awesome or it's not. And so I will actually leave things on here that are 1 stars because I don't want to mistakenly go to Pinterest again and then think that it looks delicious and then make it and it tastes like cardboard. I don't want to eat cardboard. I don't have time for that. Anyways, once I got it on here, I find something I want. If you like it, you can right click on it and you can add it to your grocery list. Pick 5 or 6 things that you love, add it to your grocery list. So in this case, I want to make some keto brownie fat bombs. Doesn't that sound delicious? And black bean sweet potato enchiladas. I'm gonna do a cheesy spinach dip chicken pasta. Oh, we love that one. That one is so good. It's really cheap too. You can actually add information to these recipes later, like cost per serving, so you kind of get a sense for what you're getting into. Anyways, once you've added them to your grocery list, go ahead and go to groceries. And now notice on the side here, you'll have all of these sorted out by the aisle that you actually need to go to. I mean, talk about making your life simple. It's all about building a system in place. And then from there, we're gonna go and check off anything we have, right? We don't wanna go buy groceries we already have. That's a waste of money and a waste of time. That's a criminal. All right, so now that we got this, let's go to our cabinets and let's check off everything we have. And this is all about perfect utilization. We want to buy the bare number of minimal additional ingredients needed to make the maximum number of recipes. So if it turns out that we only need 5 or 6 additional recipes, check off everything you already have. You can change the filter on this after the fact to just show you what you need. And now you've got your grocery list. Now there's 2 options here. If you're making a in-person run to the grocery store, this is why you'll want to have it on your phone as well. What's great about the Paprika app is they charge you a license per, I believe, whether or not it's Mac or Android, but then once you have it for life and you have it on unlimited devices inside of that operating system. So if you need it for a Windows computer and a MacBook, you'd have to buy 2 licenses, etc. I have it on all the devices necessary so that I can look it up on my iPad, so that I can then, make adjustments on my laptop to the recipe, and so that I can then go to the grocery store. It's very affordable. Filter down your grocery list. From there, you're gonna take that phone, if you're going to your store, your Wegmans, your Aldi's, whatever, and you're gonna go ahead and now have that that shopping list with you inside the grocery store. You can just see what you still need to buy, which is amazing. I wish I could show you this view right now, but it'll take me a couple minutes to figure that out. You spend the bare minimum of time needed in the grocery store. You can also plan out on this meal function how many meals you actually need for the week. So my family, we don't eat a brand new meal 7 days a week. That's a lot of prep, it's too much prep. So what I'm doing is looking to make stuff in bulk. If I make a meal on Monday, we're probably gonna eat it again on Tuesday, and then maybe have the leftovers for lunch on Wednesday, something like that. It's all about efficiency. So we're gonna make things in bulk, we're gonna have it for multiple meals, so we only really need to get like maybe 3 dinners per week, and then maybe some staples for lunch and breakfast. Breakfast is very simple in the Mendoza household. Eggs and oatmeal. I mean, this is not gonna be super fancy, it's staples. So it's all about to take those variables and simplify it down to something that you can comprehend and actually do. We go out, we buy our groceries, 2 options here. I tell you, the Click List of the world, Wegmans has Instant Cart, like these different shopping portals that you can do this online. This is a game changer. You know how much is bought due to drift because your toddler wants you to put something in the grocery cart? It's super stressful to go to the grocery store with kids, and you always end up buying stuff that wasn't on your list. That's the grocery store's plan. It's not a bad thing, it's not evil, it's just the nature of things, right? This is why the most expensive things are right at the front of the store. If you actually purchase your shopping list from a very intentional place, even if they charge you an extra $5 for the privilege, I guarantee you'll spend less. My favorite by far is Kroger's Click List. Kroger in-house offers this service, and right now for a flat fee of around $4.95, you can get pickup. So once a week, we go to Costco, we buy the things in bulk that we want. The remaining things we put on the list for Kroger, and we get them there. If there's 1 or 2 additional things, maybe we'll make one run to our grocery store of choice, but this prevents us from spending hundreds of extra dollars over a month on just things that we didn't plan on buying, but we were there and it looked good or whatever. That's money you can use to save for financial independence. My wife is like the queen of activities. Activities for kids, I mean, she could write a master's class on it. So my son takes this and like funnels it through. Yeah, it's really cool. I can't even do it. He's a genius. All right. I'm just about showing, just real quick, 5-minute recording, some meal planning in the fridge, and then we're done. Thanks. It's a test run. Okay, I want to show you guys the meal prep. Now, I've actually kind of burned through a lot of the meals that I've made, but since really, if you eat meat, if you're not a vegetarian, meat is probably what's gonna drive the vast majority of your cost. And so what's cool though, is if you're making intentional choices, you are not just limited to, I don't know, the cheapest meat out there. You can actually mix and match. So what I do on the weekend is I get my staples, and we typically get our staples from either, from Wegmans or Costco. I find that Costco is a little more expensive on the chicken, but very reasonable on the steak. And so I will make a Chipotle chicken and a Chipotle steak several times a week. I'm sorry, I'll make a Chipotle chicken and steak once a week to eat throughout the week. And I'll actually portion these out. So maybe I'll eat steak, maybe a couple times a week, and I'll have chicken maybe 4 or 5 times a week. So there's a difference between eating ingredients and eating recipes. Depending on your fitness goals and what you're doing, simplicity is king. And so I find, for myself, I prefer individual ingredients with minimal additional stuff going on. So I kind of build my meal around the meat, and then I will add just a few ingredients to that. So for instance, let me just give you a quick example. I might do chicken or steak, and then I will do some sort of good healthy fat with it. So avocados are a very healthy fat. I've actually kind of priced it out and found that if you buy the pre-mixed one at Costco, it's just so much cheaper than just buying avocados, especially avocados out of season. So this will be my source of healthy fats. If I want to get some carbs right along with this, you could do brown rice, you could do quinoa. I know many individuals on our video editing team are huge fans of quinoa. Add your carb source as you will. Let me tell you what, the Chipotle Marinade that I use for this chicken and steak is a game changer. I mean, it really is, because once you have flavorful meat, there's actually so much that you can actually do with it. So I actually make the seasoning in just your blender. I'll throw in here a healthy fat, might be olive oil or avocado oil. We'll throw in there some sweetener, just a small amount, maybe honey, 1 lime, and then the secret ingredient to this entire thing, 1 can of chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. I was looking at all these recipes online for how to make chipotle copycats, and all of them were talking about how I could take the pepper and I could heat it in the oven and then I could chop it up. And then I realized at its essence, I just needed some chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. Simplify things, pour 1 can of this in there along with just a few other ingredients. My guiding light is like, I never want to be guilty of measuring out 1/8 of a teaspoon. If I'm measuring out 1/8 of a teaspoon of something, I'm doing something wrong. A pinch of salt, a splash of whatever, a 1/4 cup, like just keep it very simple with everything. If you have a recipe that is gonna take you 8 hours to complete, if you're not a foodie, why would you do that? If it doesn't bring you joy, why would you invest that much time in it? For me, I'm just trying to create a meal that tastes good. I'm trying to do it at a very simple level. And I wanna do it in bulk because whatever I make needs to last me for a bit. What I find as I'm doing this meal prep is that if I'm making food for myself, my meals will range in between $2 to $4 per meal. That's pretty impressive considering that I eat a pretty high protein-based meal with sometimes more expensive meats like steak. Those meals can get as low as $1, especially as you start tapering down and having more breakfast type meals. Dinners that have more meats are usually a little bit more expensive. For my family, my meals average in between $2 to $3.25 per person. Again, very inexpensive. And again, we're talking about the difference between breakfast, which is usually pennies, 50, 70 cents per person, to dinner, which may have a few more ingredients, maybe a little bit more. The key is not that you eat all steak or all oatmeal and eggs, but rather you find a balance that meets your budget and gives you the calories and the nutrients that you and your family need. And if you do this over time with intentionality, I guarantee you there are hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars a year that you can find to put towards your financial goals.